Hello, Fable here. I said going through a lot of stuff, brought up a lot of emotions, but I do keep a journal or paper by my bed, and I'm going to read something. So, pardon if I'm not looking directly at the camera, but this is something I wrote going through my divorce. It says, no one can begin to understand the emotional roller coaster you go through while during this during this process. I Whether you want to get divorced, realize it's for the best, or don't want it. This is one roller coaster ride you never want to be on and never want to ride again. When you hear from someone how happy they are or something wonderful their partner did for them, although you are genuinely happy for them, it reminds you how unhappy you are and feel like. You could cry a river, but you smile, tell them how happy you are for them, put on your happy face, and go about your day. Then when at the end of the night, when you are alone in your room or just alone and it feels like someone opened the floodgates of emotions and every happy thought hits you smack in the face. With every unhappy thought you felt, and you cry and feel like you could cry for days. You may yell, why? Why did this happen? Why can't I find someone new and be happy? Why, oh why? You feel so alone at the moment, no matter, sorry, no matter how close your family or how many friends you have to support you. You hit so low and you are so sad, angry, and hurt all at the same time. You feel like this is how the rest of your life will be, and you will be alone until you die. So that is really, really, truly how sometimes I felt. Like, there's times I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm alone. I'd rather be alone and unhappy than be with someone or still be in my marriage and be miserable. And it is hard to hear happy news from other people. And you do cry. I mean, I don't know about other people, but I personally, that's how I felt. I was so happy, whether it be they met someone, it went great, or even my married friends, and oh my God, he surprised me. And we went, or we're going to this concert. Oh my God, I feel like, we're young again. Just so many, many things that, and it's true, at night, I would put, especially my kids home, I would put on like a sad movie. So I had an excuse to cry. And if my kids came in, I'm like, oh, or if my daughter wanted to watch a movie, I'm like, oh, let's watch this. She's like, oh, I've never seen that. Knowing it's a sad movie and I was going to cry. And it was a way I could cry in front of my kids. And it might not have, when my friend Lisa passed away, and then I saw her boyfriend of 21 years plus seeing someone. And then when they got engaged, and I was like, what? he said he would never get married. That's my friend didn't want kids. She, not necessarily to get married, but wanted that commitment of a ring. And he said he would never do it. And I reached out to him and I said, truly, I'm happy. Everybody deserves happiness, but it's really hard for me to see someone else getting what my friend really wanted and deserved. And he agreed, and he said, I have to live with that the rest of my life, but I can't have regrets anymore. So her death, taught him that. Unfortunately, she had to die for him to realize that. And moving on so quickly, that kind of, I don't know, that really bothered me. Because she died in June, and it was November, and I kind of knew, but he didn't officially announce it, I want to say February, so it wasn't even a year. But who am I to tell someone, grieving and how circumstances came about? It is what it is, and I'm happy he's happy, and I'm just sad that it took my friend, dying for him to realize that what he should have gave her. So it's just hard. So, it's just not my things that I was crying over. It was other people's things. And I also wrote a poem. And this is about someone that, well, I guess it's someone that really wanted to, it seemed, to have a relationship with me, still kept in touch after we went out, but didn't pursue a relationship with me. So it's why after a great first date dinner, why did you ask me for another? Why couldn't you see me again? Why couldn't you explain? Why couldn't you meet me and talk? Why couldn't you share a meal, movie, or a walk? Why did you only enjoy emailing? And why was I not so tempting texting? Why didn't you want to see if we could have fun together? This is like the scribble of the poem, so I'm sorry. Why did you seem to change your feelings like the weather? Why did you tell me you thought I was cute? There's some crossed out lines. Why a chance on spending time together you couldn't take? This is a long one. Why did you want to read what I wrote? Why, after you did, you didn't know what to think? Why did you decide you no longer want to talk to me? Why be happy as can be? Why didn't you think? Why did you think I deserved to be happy as can be? Why didn't you think that could be with me? Why did you stop sharing? Why are you still searching for another? Why, if you don't know what you want, sorry, this is probably a long couple pages. Why did you want to read what I wrote, you in ink? Why, after did you didn't know what to think? This is, I guess, the polished version. Why did you say I deserve to be happy as I can be? Why did you decide you no longer wanted to talk to me? Why did you feel you had to stop sharing? Why do I feel you stopped caring? Why was I not your choice? Why did you not want to hear my voice? Why will I never again get to see how you look? Why did you not want to get to know more about me after you read my book? Why will I never get to again look into your eyes so blue? Why will I never get to know more about you? I was writing a book, and it was my journal through my whole life. So I had put it, typed out my journal. That's what I'm talking about, my book. Why will we never share another meal? Why will I never find out how a hug from you will feel? Why did I not capture your heart? Why did you feel we must part? So that was just someone that wouldn't answer. We did go out, and then he decided, we were in different places. I found out too, he kind of lied to me about his situation, but he was someone I didn't want to let go. And he kept in touch with me, texting. It seemed anytime I brought up another guy, of course I'm going to move on. And he said, can we be friends and just talk? And, we're basically texting friends. And it's like, oh, I don't like that about him. I don't think you should see him again. Did not like anybody. So I stopped sharing. I stopped sharing when I went on, as I would say, meetings and then dates. Then I met Frank. And I think he realized that I truly found happiness. And he truly felt happy for me. And I felt, okay, he's not for me. And I really didn't think of him in that way at all. I thought him as a friend, and they say we meet everybody for a reason. I had this friend, Neil, who unfortunately passed away a month shy of his 31st birthday. And him and I were like that. We were besties growing up. Then we tried dating, and that just didn't work out for us. And we went back to being best friends. So, and I always said, Neil, you have to send me someone. I need someone like you. Yes, I'm getting a little emotional. Neil was my best friend. And then there was my friend Lisa. So, going through my divorce, trust me, I don't want to, say I didn't have people. I had my family. Like I said, sometimes judged me for what I was doing. And I had great friends. Such great friends that supported me and were around me. And my friend Lisa was there for the beginning of the divorce. Very, very, very beginning of the divorce. She hated that I was moving to Florida. That was short-lived. When I was in Florida, had moved back to New Jersey, and I was in Florida for a dance thing. That's when her boyfriend Ray tried to, reach out to me through Facebook and said, please call me. And And like, Ray's on Facebook. And from there is when I found out. And I was devastated. And I was thankful for Frank. Frank was by my side. Then when Frank died the next year, I was like, okay, who's here for me? And I leaned on this person. Not physically, because physically I leaned on his friends. They were a couple. They lived together. They'd been together for years, and they were his good friends. And I would go there until like 2:00 in the morning and drink coffee. And then I'd come home, actually, and talk to another person that was his friend, who became my friend. And I would talk all hours with her. But when it was all over and the dust settled, I was like, okay. When I was ready to move on from Frank, and some people said to me, and it still bothers me to this day, and because what if it is true? I had Frank. Frank showed me how someone that truly loves you really acts and treats you. And he truly did. He just had so many demons that he was dealing with after his mother died from his childhood that he just couldn't take it. Like I said, he self-imploded. And that was devastating. He portrayed to his family that we were done. And I'm like, no, we weren't done. The day he called me to say goodbye, basically, I had come from my therapist. And his therapist had told him that he needs to take a break from me. And he's like, I can't let her go. And he's like, I'm not saying let her go. And I gave him that because he said, you're not who I imagine I'd fall in love with. You're not the typical girl that I would go out with. And I was like, okay, then go. Then go explore. Go on the dating site. Because I caught that, my friend saw him on there. And so he did. And these girls, I emailed them afterwards. And they're like, I don't know why he was on a dating site, because all he did was talk about you. And he actually met this woman, and she was like, she became a good friend to him, and I'm glad she found him. And she said, you need to go back to her. I don't know why you're on a dating site. And she talked to him for hours and hours. And then she became my rock, and after he passed away. And it really devastated me about him. And I know this sounds weird. They buried him with his biological father. Thank God, not his stepfather or mother. And part of me wishes they cremated him so I could have some of his ashes. And he's who I was talking to. Him and my mom. I don't know why. And my mom and him talked. And he's like, if your daughter knew everything about me, she wouldn't be with me. And my mother said, then you don't know my daughter very well. And I would have been devastated to hear what he went through. And he asked me that day, he's like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, I came from my therapist, and she said that, if your therapist is telling you you need to not be romantically involved with someone, that's fine. I will be here for you. We can still go to dinner. We can still go for a walk and talk, but we won't be romantically. Like, there'll be no kissing and no touching and no sex. And I don't think he could handle that. And he's like, what did she think about what my therapist? She said, if that's what they said, then that's what we should do. So we weren't basically, and I said to him, you might go through all this and decide you don't want to be with me. He's like, never, ever. So would we have come out together at the end of that? I'm not sure. I'll never know. I think we had a bond and a love for each other, but I don't know if we weren't together. I still think we'd have a relationship. Maybe we would have helped each other and get through to the other side and find who we were meant to be with, or was I meant to be with him? So I always wonder, and I get mad at him sometimes, and I'll scream at him in the car, and I don't know. And when I met Steven, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is who I was meant to be. Maybe Frank sent him to me, and we had so much in common. We talked for hours. The first night, we had that connection, but I think I was looking for it, and I think I was trying to prove that I could move on. I mean, it was 1.5 years, and I don't know. I just don't know. So I think moving is going to be very emotional, leaving here almost 7 years. Because this was, even though the other place was the first place with me and my kids together, this became our home. That was just a place to live for 1 year to get my daughter through to her school, her senior year at her high school. This, on the other hand, was our home. So many things. My daughter graduated high school here. My son told me that his girlfriend was pregnant, that's with my granddaughter. We lived here when she was born. She walked here, even though she walked for the first time at her first birthday party. She then walked here and walked all around. She laughed here for the first time for me. My son then met his now girlfriend, who they've been together quite a while. I think 3 years, 4 years, maybe. I'm not sure. 3 years, because it was 2020. Well, it'll be 3 years. My daughter met her boyfriend, who I knew then. I mean, she came in this house, and I knew he was the one. So it will be emotional. I've thrown away a lot of stuff. I had a towel that had the gym on it that Frank went to. And I think it was called Wow Gym, and now it's Jersey Strong, because that was their slogan, Wow, Jersey Strong. Their Logan was slogan, sorry. It's late. Slogan was Jersey Strong. And now I think they've changed the name to Jersey Strong, but I threw out that towel. I couldn't smell him on it. I wish I had took some of his clothes, well, actually this one shirt in particular that I liked on him, and made it into a pillow, but I didn't. I did wear one of his shirts to bed. It was this black, like, thermal shirt that he wore under everything. And I wore that to bed, and then it got holes, and it's here somewhere. I don't know where. So I'm just looking around my room, and I'm kind of thinking it's the same size as my new room, but the windows are different. I think I have one window on one wall, one window on another wall. That's it. So it'll be similar. And I didn't realize, I thought I had one long dresser, but it's two dressers side by side. And I'm thinking I might only take one small dresser because I am going to have a closet 3 times the size of my closet now. That's another thing I have to go through. Oh my God. I don't look forward to going through that. So when I was going through divorce, did I want to get divorced? No, but I knew there was no relationship there. There was no marriage. There hadn't been for a long time. He had checked out long ago. And my son, when his daughter wouldn't sleep one night, and he's like, I'm not supposed to be doing this on my own. I wasn't supposed to be. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't how my life was supposed to be. And I said, he took it all wrong. Me and my daughter calmed down. I said, listen, do you think my life is the way and don't bring dad into, I'm like, I'm not. I'm bringing me into this. That's the hardest thing, because I'd be retiring at the end of this year. I would have stayed at my job. He would have been retired, but had a part-time job. Then we were going to travel all over the United States. That's not happening now. I'm going to be working till I'm 70 or older. And is that what I want? No. Do not want that. But it is my life. I have to accept it. I don't know. I just hope and pray that this is the start of something new. And I said to my friend Mary that I don't want to get involved with anybody. I want to take and be on my own, live on my own, figure things out my own. I just ordered tonight. It's for your drawers to organize it, but I think it'll be good to organize the beads, the bracelets I'm going to start taking. So it's going to be tough at first. It really is going to be tough at first. Because, like I said, here's another, I guess in my mind, my kids were never leaving me. Delusional, yes. So here's yet, when I was going through the divorce, and there were so many things that didn't go the way I thought that, my life was not going the way I wanted to. I thought it was supposed to go, number one. Number two, the divorce wasn't going the way I thought it was going to go. And I got a piece of hair. I guess I didn't get it to put it up. So then when I came here and my landlord said, do you think you'd be here for 5 years? And I was like, yeah, well, here it is, almost 7. I wish, I really would stay here if the rent didn't skyrocket. So, kind of mad at my landlord for that. I mean, I'm a good tenant. And yes, is this too much space for me? Absolutely. But it would be nice to be, in a way, living next door to my son. I could redo things. Keep Juliana's room as Juliana's room. It's my granddaughter. and make a spare bedroom. But I think it's time to move on. As much, no one likes change. My son made me throw out this card. It said, one of my bosses wrote this on the back of his business card. He said, change is never welcome. Change is never something, but change is inevitable. That, God, if that isn't the truth. I think he was a history buff. So I want to say it was George Washington or Abraham Lincoln that wrote that. And as you can hear, I'm still suffering with this nasal thing. But I still wonder sometimes, why can't I find someone? Why wasn't I enough for that guy? In the why. I called the poem I Wonder Why. Why wasn't I enough for him? I don't know. I mean, there was this one guy who was head over heels for me. But he'd go off and disappear. My friend said, he's like A Beautiful Mind. I mean, the movie A Beautiful Mind, he's very intelligent, super intelligent. I mean, he said he worked for the government. He shouldn't have even been telling me that, but I'll get an email and it'll be forwarded from him, but it'll also be edited. And it came from the government. And it was not BS. And there was a full disclosure in there that to tell me that my email, I can send back to them. It will be reviewed. There's things could be redacted from it. Please give your compensation general. Blah, blah. I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is the real stuff. My kids called him the CIA guy. So recently I sent to the email that I had for him. He came back undeliverable. So not his email anymore. Don't have his phone number because that was a couple of phones ago. And I wish, I really wish, I don't know. Maybe he was the one. I mean, but he was a little, I don't know. I don't want to say crazy. He had no tolerance for people. Driving with him was a challenge. But he was a great guy. He had gone through cancer a couple times, so that's what I'm wondering. His cancer came back and he's like, I can't put you through this. I have to walk away from you. And I was like, what? So his kids are grown, I'm sure, college, or this one was going to go in the military, and he had 2 sons, and I'm sure they're off on their own. So I don't remember the exact spelling of his last name. It did not come up in the email. So I was a little upset over that. I don't know. Am I grasping at straws? Am I grasping at ghosts? I don't know. But the emotional roller coaster, I don't think I'm on that emotional roller coaster anymore. Going through divorce, it's like, oh, yeah, this is how things are going to go. He's agreeable. Nope, he's not. Well, we're going down. Now we're climbing up again. Everything looks great. We're at the top. We can see everything. It looks great. No, he's not going to agree. Boom. We were working it out between us. Then he decided to get an attorney. Then I just didn't know what was coming next. So that was hard to deal with. So I'm also have not seen anybody professionally to talk to. So that's what I'm trying to find too. But my insurance, it's difficult. And they want to do Zoom. And I'd rather do in person. So once I get settled, I'm going to reach out to the therapist I brought my kids to. And I'll pay out of pocket. and then get reimbursed from my insurance. So I want to know if there's anybody but in your life that you wonder why. If things were so great, but yet they're like, this isn't going to work. You had a relationship and they ended it and maybe gave you reasons and you didn't agree with those reasons. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about anything that you've gone through like that. If you wondered why. Even if divorce, or a breakup. You don't even have to be married. I know people that are together. My friends, they've been together 25 years probably. So I know people that were together 20 years, not married, but together and broke up. Just like a marriage. They grew apart or whatever. They got in a rut. I honestly don't know. None of my business. So if you've gone through a breakup of any sort, what, like when my mom passed away, I wish I had that someone special. Like, I looked around and, my brother had his wife. My sister had her husband. My brother had his wife. My other brother had his wife. Me and my sister was just got divorced. But he showed up. So I kind of felt alone. I had, friends, family, co-workers. They weren't really just co-workers. They were like family. I had them when my grandmother passed away. Again, family, friends, everything. But, felt alone. It would have been nice to have that person, just hold you and hug you and as you fell asleep. But it's okay to be alone. It sucks sometimes. But again, I go back to that. I'd rather be unhappy and alone than miserable and be with someone. I don't want to be with someone just to be with someone. I want to be with someone that makes me happy. So, all right, I'm going to end this because I've gone on very long. So, and I need to get to sleep because I don't even know what time it is. It has to be close to midnight by this time. But I want to hear from you. I did get a couple comments from someone today, so I enjoyed them. I have 24 subscribers. And I really haven't told anybody about this blog or vlog or whatever you want to call it. Video blog, so I guess that's a vlog. The last time I told people about, my family was very judgmental. And my uncle was like, well, they want to make sure, you don't talk about the family. No, I said right to him, this isn't about them. It's about my journey. I have said, well, they judged me sometimes. We weren't talking at time, whatever. But this is about me and my journey. And it's not just, I feel I need to move on and this will help me get healthier. It's what I need and to lose weight. There's a gym right across my parking lot. I hope to go there my goal is 3 times a week. And trust me, I'll be checking in and telling you. Eat healthier, so meal prep. So many things. I think this is going to be a good change for me. Because if I don't buy it, can't eat it. So I did run out and get to Popeyes. But all I got was a diet soda with no ice. Guy was like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Because lately I feel like I need the soda. I don't know why. I really don't. That was like 8:30 tonight. But I guess a diet soda is better than a whole bowl of, I was contemplating Carvel and I was like, no, I can't do it. I was contemplating Dunkin' and drowning my sorrows in that. No. So I didn't do it. So a Diet Coke is a better choice than sweets. So I will end this and say goodnight and hope